What is up, everyone? Welcome into back nine action, Scenic City Open. We are at Happy Valley Farms here on Tennessee Disc Golf, sponsored by Chick-fil-A. Shout out to Kyle Burriss on the second cam here, Stephen Miller of the TD. I'm Idris Garcia alongside Mr.
Aidan Scott. What's up, guys? We are back for the back nine of this tournament. We have seen some highlights. We've seen some lowlights on the front nine. And the back nine only gets more interesting, so let's go get into it.
Here is Joey Lutz back at it. 3 down on the front nine. Will Parris, another 3 down. Let's see what these guys do on the front nine, on the back nine, duking it out.
Then we got Dave here. He's at 1 down. Definitely looking to get some more birdies, but keeping it solid, keeping it under par. And Sam, definitely wanting to get some momentum. He's currently sitting at 1 over par. Let's see how they attack hole 10.
Hole 10, just a par 3, 315 feet. But a rock island to start your back nine here.
Yeah, this hole is super fun. Punch it into the hillside. The rock island actually does not play as an actual island. So there is no drop zone or out of bounds. But it is still a tough shot to stick close, especially as you can hear, it's windy and there are no trees.
Dave ripping on that one a little bit, asking for it to get up, and he'll be sitting outside of that circle.
Yeah, just a little low. I think he was trying to get a little bit more hyzer on it, let that right to left lift it. Man, that disc is just turning over on Sam a little bit. The wind is smacking that thing around.
And it's proving it tough for these guys just to be able to get the disc high enough like Will does here.
Yeah, that looks like a great shot.
Oh, and a good bounce. Beautiful bounce off the ground there. This takes it close. Here comes Joey.
Joey throwing the same disc as Will, too. Trying to copy that shot. Oh, just a little short.
Just a little bit short.
So they're going to find the hazard. I was wrong. It's not an island, but there is hazard.
Sam pitching it up there.
Yeah, this hole also is rather uphill. I would definitely say it plays longer than 315, let alone in this wind. It is ripping right now.
Yeah, the elevation and the wind definitely making this open course even tougher for these guys. One of the longer courses in town, I would say.
Oh, and Joey with a good hit for the par save.
Nice.
Starting the back nine right. Ooh, with a nice cam. Beautiful par save from Joey.
Really tough putt, especially in that right to left, going up the hill. The wind is getting all up under that disc.
Little alternate nice cam angle.
Yeah.
Thanks to John Surmann, Dave's brother, out there doing some work.
Making this production look extra nice.
A couple of bogeys thanks to the hazard there. Joey saves his par, and then Will gets the first birdie of the back nine, takes that lead back.
Next up, we got hole 11 here, par 3, 315, well downhill. This hole is actually really tricky. You wouldn't expect it. There's not a whole lot in the way, but the way the wind plays with this on this hole and the downhill, it is really easy to just end up about 35 feet. He would be surprised.
Yeah, definitely not envious of these guys throwing that far downhill in this wind.
This shot looks pretty perfect, though. Maybe even hunting the basket.
Oh, what a shot from Will. And he had some putting highlights on the front nine and doing it off the tee here in the back.
Another good looking side arm, hung it out there nice and wide. A little short, but it curled up there, pretty close to circle's edge. Good thing to keep in mind, I don't think these grass circles are actually circle 1 size. I think they're a little smaller. Dave with the backhand, just kept it too straight.
Yeah, looks like it turned. Never had a chance to come back. Sam with the lefty hyzer. That's a good Good marker out there to throw it at that big tree and let it fade towards the basket. We're going to get a look at that line again.
That was just perfectly played. Really nice angle, a little lower, kept it out of the wind, a little bit more driven. Soft landing. I mean, can't play it much better than that.
If you're Sam, you love to see it. That should be birdie on the scorecard, and that's what it needs.
Dave going with the long range jumper. Pretty much just putting her up there. Probably more of an upshot than an actual run at the basket, especially with that hill behind.
Looks like he kept it high, not giving it much of a chance to get past the basket down that hill.
Another good putt for Joey. This is one you definitely want to get considering how open it is. But like I said, it can get tricky.
Yeah, that big uphill look there for Joey converts nicely. Will coming in a little bit closer here and converts his birdie as well. Stays one stroke ahead. Nicely done from Will.
And Dave cleaning up the par. Finally getting to Sam's disc here.
He's going to keep the bag on and just tap it in.
Well played.
Hole number 12, par 3, 415 feet. Got a nice slight slope down towards the left side. Basket sitting up, tucked in towards the tree line there.
Yeah, and you've got a pretty dangerous green, a lot of foliage, and a pretty solid hill on the backside leading down to a pond. And if you really turn one over, that fence on the right side is also OB.
Let's see what Will's going with here. Looks like he's probably going for a high flex and leaves it too flat, and it drifts way over to the left into that tree line.
It's going to be a tricky upshot from there. He's got a few trees in his way. Looks like he had another little slip there. Maybe having some issues with the tee pads. Next up is Joey. This is looking like a better angle, keeping it a little wider and straighter pushing.
Still a little bit short, not quite getting the distance that he needs to cover that 415 feet, but we'll have a look at it.
I really like this shot for a lefty. This should play nice. Turning, just needs to come back just a tiny bit. Stop by those trees. Looks like it just turned over a little bit too much on him. See if Dave can put one close.
Oh, not liking that one. Overturns it, going towards the fence.
Oh, finds the OB. Looks like the wind just affected his disc in a way he didn't expect it. He seemed pretty shocked. Solid upshot, though.
Nice upshot there. And that's the trouble with us mere mortals that have to throw full flexes. The wind can play with them.
A perfect little pitch up from Sam. Next we got Will here.
Looks like he'll be looking to putt this as his upshot. Leaves it nice and close.
Yeah, not messing with that one too much. You definitely don't want to go off the backside. It can get pretty rough back there. Joey, on the other hand, just a little too high.
Clanks it off the top, gives it a nice safe bid, stays close.
Dave dropping one to the card. Definitely did not want that bogey, but
that'll put him over par. Will cleaning up his 3. Joey doing the same.
Tough hole. 1 over as a card.
Joey and Will still out front there at 5 and 4 down.
Going into hole 13, the shortest hole on the course, 265, but of course, we've got a tight gap. Nice little sidearm, plays well on this one. Just kind of punch it into that hill. This hole is mostly about making the gap. But on a green like this on the side hill, you can land just about 30 feet and hit the cage, get a roll away, maybe 2. Things can go bad quickly.
Tough gap. We've got a lot of strong sidearm players and a lefty here, so we'll see how they play it. Will, looks like he just left it a little bit straight again.
Great looking shot, just tiny bit too straight. If it misses that one tree, he's circle's edge. See if Joey can correct. Man.
Goes high into that ceiling.
Again, just mere inches away from being a perfect shot. Lefty. Oh, getting a little bit of tree love. Had a putt a little short, but definitely a solid reaction there off that limb.
Here comes Dave. Likely going with a standstill here. Oh, sneaks by that tree that got Will's, and he'll be left with an outside chance. He's got to look at it.
Joey first one to throw. I like this sidearm turnover. Just match the hill. Oh no!
Still gets the
root. That is unfortunate. He even threw the softer plastic berg and still didn't sit. Definitely not what you want to see. He played that shot about as good as you could.
Well, with that long range jumper, gives it a little bit of an ante, pops right up off that hill, and sticks for him. Yes.
So close.
I do a lot of work to putt up that hill.
Especially in a little bit of a right to left, it's going to drop his putt. Joey, on the other hand, don't want to let the wind get under this one. Centered.
Spin back.
With the spin back.
And that's just a great putt. Center of the chains.
Well committed. Solid bit of power.
Bites right through that little rollaway. And here goes Dave with a birdie look. He's the last one with a chance.
There we go. Sneaking it in just left side, but it's a good birdie to get. It might be the shortest hole in the course, but it's definitely not the easiest. Get a little spin back on that.
Another spin back. That pulls him back to even for the round. Always a good feeling.
Then we got a couple cleanups. Not too shabby. Dave with the only birdie. He will take the box.
And it is his box on hole number 14, a par 3, 340 feet. Again, a big uphill climb here as it moves left to right, tucked into the tree line. A lot of guardians, windy day. This one was playing really tough today.
Yeah, this was actually playing the hardest hole for the course today. This is probably one of my favorites. I'm slightly biased, but I did have a part in picking where this pin went, so this is kind of my baby on the course. So I'm excited to watch these guys play it.
Sounds like you put it in a good spot to challenge the field. Dave leaves his a little bit wide. He's going to have a tough little upshot into that tree line.
Will rocketing a sidearm up there. Also looks a little pulled. Yeah, just didn't quite get it over to the right enough. It's hard to swing a sidearm in there. Me personally, I think backhand probably plays the best, but it's a long shot.
Yeah, with that sidearm, you got to get around that big branch hanging out into the fairway.
Joey actually going lower. I have not seen this yet. I like that play. Still going to leave him a pretty long look, but best drive of the group so far.
Definitely kept it tighter. Sam just never giving it a chance. Just left it a little too low there.
Yeah, tough shot. Didn't want to throw it in the branches and just pushed it a little too low, but this recovery looks great. Oh no. Last one to beat. That's going to be a tough putt from in there too. He's got a decent bit of foliage and a little bit of a slopey green. That's probably my favorite thing about this hole, is that a lot of these not great drives give you kind of a tricky upshot. Will, though, looks to be making it look easy.
Yeah. Great flex on the sidearm there. Beautiful control. Leaves it on that high side of the hill, giving him some room for error. Dave's backhand.
Going with that 300 ultra soft PA3, trying to just make sure it hits and sticks. Pretty smart play. I like it.
Joey gonna get to go with the putt.
Yeah, pretty much. On that green, especially from that distance and that angle, there is not much running that putt.
Great control there from him as well. No rollaways on this one.
Sam, though, looks like he's eyeing this one up. Oh, no, just barely.
Good bid. He did a lot of great work after the tee shot and unfortunately just doesn't get the reward.
Dave didn't realize he left this one a little bit short, but that is a great putt, especially staring down that hill with not much to catch your disc if you miss, besides the one big tree back there. So then, looks like a couple of tap-ins.
Nicely done there from Will. And this card doesn't get a birdie. That means this hole went unbirdied the whole round. So good job on the pin placement.
Hey, I'm proud.
Hole number 15. We're going into a par 4 here. 445 feet out into this gap here. And then you've got another low ceiling shot into the green.
Yeah, definitely a lot of Guardians late here, as you can see. Just kind of about making that gap off the tee. It is super tight and pretty low ceiling. Dave going back to that standstill again. I like this play. And that looks great. Just the tiniest bit sawed off, but he's right there in the gap. Now he's got to worry about the Guardians up there on the green, but great job off the first shot. This hole definitely favors the sidearm off the tee. Again, kind of like hole 2, can just keep it low and get that nose up. Make it a little easier on yourself to get the distance. But Will pulls that one over. Lucky to make it through the gap, but he's going to be in a rough spot up on that side hill, especially with how low the ceiling is. It's going to be tough to get up into the green from there.
Joey goes the opposite. He's early release.
Yeah, that is not where you want to be. It is going to be tough to get your way out of there.
Same, just needed a little bit more of airtime there. Things are a little bit short of the gap. And these guys are going to be trying to figure out how to craft the best par out of this scenario. Doing some scrambling. Dave, best look out of the bunch.
Yeah, this card definitely did not kill the tee shots, but you never know. They could always just star frame again somehow.
They've done some crazy things so far.
Joey actually looks like he was in a pretty favorable spot. I didn't realize he made it out of the bushes, and he had a pretty open gap there, it looked like, just catching the last tree to beat.
Yeah, he'll still be scrambling, but it looks like he's in the gap far enough to have a look.
Looks like Will's just going to try and punch a skip shot up there, hit it pretty hard and low. Just burned it over a tiny bit, but that should make do for a pretty easy par. Who knows? And it's still got a long birdie putt. Can never count Will out, especially from C2.
So I'm going back to that backhand. Gets it through the gap. Catches one of the big Guardians early.
Best drive of the bunch. Looks like Dave's got a little hyzer forehand here. Looking good. Just got to miss the Guardians. Gets stopped up there about circle's edge.
It's going to be short. Still a tough look as he was pinched off on that right side, but he'd like to have a little bit of a better look with that drive.
Even from only about 120 or so away, Joey in kind of a tough spot, but makes pretty easy work of that. This hole can bite you pretty fast. It is a tough green to access.
A little bit of a mental shift for these guys. Long stretch of par threes, and now we're moving into some par fours to finish their round. So having to throw multiple shots to score here.
Oh,
Nice. You said it. You called it.
Yeah.
You called it. You can't count this guy out from C2.
No matter the stance, dude, Will is just a dangerous man on the green. He is so smooth. Didn't even need a step or jump. Just all wrist and arm. Dead center into the chains. What a putt. Oh, no.
Oh, and that's...
Okay, dried up, but, man, just barely a little too high there. Dave is really close to finding a lot of putts, but just slightly off here and there.
Cleans up the par nicely. Brushes off that roll away, thankfully. Joey and Sam clean up their pars, and Will, with the lone birdie, gives himself a 2-stroke cushion over Joey on the card.
Yeah, Will is definitely playing well. Going into hole 16, par 4, 610, whole lot of danger. All this fence on the right side is out of bounds. And then you've got this Mando on the left and this tree to avoid. Got to push a straight shot that fades just a little bit. Try and hopefully get somewhere down here by the tree line. If you really push one far, you can get a long putt at this hole, but there is a lot of risk. Danger everywhere. And a lot of elevation. Probably going to see a lot of guys going with the backhand hyzer, just leaving it short. Oh, but stands up a little bit on him. It needs to come back. And that it does. Getting a little bit sneaky, but that's a good spot to be. He's well down the fairway. He's probably only going to have about maybe 200 feet into the basket. That's a great shot.
Dave going with that hyzer as well. Doesn't swing it out quite as wide, but it flips over on him.
Ugh. Tried so hard to come back. Just got a little bit of a drop early. And that is not a good spot to be. Whoa, what is he doing here? Joey getting super aggressive. I think he was trying to get to the green with that shot.
Goes high sidearm, clips that tree, and doesn't quite make it all the way down, but he's safe.
This is a little bit more what I expected to see. Just kind of a low hyzer. Keep it inbounds. Give yourself a slightly longer upshot, but take a lot of the danger out of this hole. I mean, there's not a whole lot of danger on the second shot. It's really just about keeping it inbounds off the tee.
That downhill can do you some favors on the distance.
Dave here, a little pinched. Hanging it out wide, making it through. A little bit pulled, but he's going to have an open 45, 50 footer. Definitely going to want to get that par save. And yeah, Sam landing a little bit farther back than Will, but having a straight open look at the basket, or at least straight line.
Yeah, staring straight into that gap. Just leaves it long, and it was a good shape, good line. Missed all the trees, just a little bit too much juice.
And then Joey with the Gengar A5.
And he throws his shot right onto that green, into the hillside.
Well played. About slid it off the old building frame there. And then finally we're up to Will's drive. Should be light work. Ooh, kind of left it short there. Definitely not what you want to see. That was a pretty routine shot, but Will's a good putter.
Yeah, he's made some bangers so far today. Let's see if he's got another one in him.
Dave for the par save. Wow. C2 monsters, dude. Walking it in there. He knew.
Gotta love it.
The second nice cam.
What a putt from Dave. Beautiful par save after going OB off the tee.
Now Will left the upshot a little bit shorter than you'd liked.
Pays the price for it.
Definitely not what you wanted to see. He had the best drive of the group and a great drive on the hole, but it can happen out here pretty quick. And then Sam, what a birdie.
Get these guys. Nice. Nice. It's raining Niices.
What a putt.
Great putt out of Sam. Up that hill.
We've had like 1,000 feet of putting already. And then Joey with the little bit more standard birdie, but getting it done.
Yeah, nice birdies there. 2 pars. So even with the OB, Dave avoids taking any sort of positive strokes. Moving into hole number 17, another par 4, 515 feet. Got to hit that gap right off the tee, and then it opens up. But you still got to climb the hill here.
Yeah, this hole is super sick and very tough. If you do not make that gap and then still clear a decent bit of distance, it's going to be a really hard birdie. Not to mention you're going to be throwing straight uphill and probably blind. I mean, you can see that gap's probably only about 10 foot wide, if that.
Yeah, Joey going with that sidearm.
I like this play. Again, going to be able to get that nose up so he can climb the hill a lot better. He did fade out a decent bit early, though, but I still think that'll be a pretty solid position. Might be able to see the pin from there, even. But main job off the tee done by making the gap.
Sam getting it out there as well.
Yeah, similar shot, just a little bit shorter. It's gonna be tough from there, but he made the gap, and that's the main thing off the tee.
Well, it goes back in his bag for the sidearm. Another advantage is you're looking at that gap the whole time, never turning away from it.
Super smooth, just a bit overturned. Not ideal, but you can definitely birdie from there. And then Dave's still going with the sidearm. I like that. Just trying to make the gap. And that he does. Gotta be a decent bit short though, but keeping bogey out of play for the most part, just giving him a chance.
Probably one that some people are not super mad about, just playing for par, picking up that easy 4 here, moving along.
Yeah, I believe that was Dave's upshot, in which he still has a putt. I mean, it's an outside chance, but we've seen plenty of long putts from this card already. I wouldn't be surprised to see some more. And then Sam playing this beautifully. Just tiny bit short still, but man, I mean, I can't do much better from there.
Yeah, finally getting that full slide out of the disc. We'll go and stand still with the backhand here. A lot of power on that hyzer, and swings in nicely just outside that mode circle. Which means he'll have a nice putt coming back here.
The wind also appears to be chilling out a decent bit. The flag's not moving too much, and we are at the highest point on this entire property pretty much. So if it's not blowing up here, there's probably not much wind. Joey just able to go berg. Yeah, he made it a long way up that hill. Definitely a big luxury to have such an easy standstill upshot and probably be able to see the pin from there.
Dave.
Oh, what a
looking short on that one.
Just a tiny bit low. This card has definitely done some amazing things on the green so far.
Yeah, I'm ready for just every putt to drop. But
speaking of drop, just a little bit low. A little bit of a bonus birdie, but with the round he's having, he definitely wanted that putt.
Let's see what Will can do here. Oh, just powers it a little too hard and leaves it high. He's got so much spin on his putt, it's going to stay on that line.
Joey collecting another good birdie, tying it up between him and Will. We've got a pretty solid battle going on, and who knows what's going on with the rest of the field.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see what comes out of this first competitive round at Happy Valley Farms. Beautiful new course here in the Chattanooga area. Pay to play. Nice and open, beautiful scenery, elevation. You've seen it all here.
They've got it all. Now going on to hole 18. Big top of the world shot. 978 feet. But plenty downhill. Most people just want to play a bit of a hyzer flip. It's a turnover shot down through this gap, keeping it low and punching it forward. And if you do that well enough and throw it pretty far, you're going to have about 450 feet left for your shot into the green. Definitely a really hard birdie and takes a lot of power. Let's see what these guys do.
Give each other some bumps here to end the round. A lot of good friends in the community here in Chattanooga. Narrating with the stag face.
Looks like a good time. Not surprised to see Joey go with this sidearm. Wonder if he's going to punch it down the middle or whether he's going to try and do something big. And it's something big.
Going over that tree line. And he's definitely cleared it.
Dang, that is a monstrous shot right there. That's going to leave him a pretty open shot into the green, while most of the people going down this center gap are going to have a bit more of a hyzer play. Sam pulling it a little bit, but it's got time. Trust the process. Let it work back in there.
Here it comes. It does.
That'll work plenty good.
Back to that gap.
Especially being lefty, he can work a turnover in there. Come on, Will. Where's the over-the-top sidearm? You've got it in you. No, I like this a little bit more. Oh, just turned it over, though. And things can get dicey once you head into that tree line. Sometimes you'll see him poke through, though. It looks like it landed right in the middle of it. It's going to be a tricky spot from there.
And nothing in there is OB, just some natural OB, some tough rough to deal with in there.
You're not even going to reach him, Dave. It's all right. Just throw. Just come on. Get off the tee pad, bud. Looks like somebody walking down in the fairway down there.
Big shot, Dave.
There. Looks like he got that flip again. I think he was just kind of trying to play a hyzer and lay it up into the gap, but got the flip out of it. Not ideal. Gonna try and punch it through the woods here, though. Looks like he has a pretty decent gap, but it's gonna be tough to get enough distance off this shot.
Clip something on the way out, but it is out.
He's happy with that. That limb almost may have helped too, shooting it nose up and allowing it to get some more distance. It's about best case scenario from there.
Yeah, he'll have a look to save his par and his round.
Will too, also getting pretty fortunate to have a very open shot here. Burned it over a tiny bit though. Definitely looking to get a little bit more flight out of that disc, but basically off the fairway. Gonna have a slightly obstructed shot into the green. Can't complain too much.
Sam going with that turnover that you mentioned.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of breeze out there. Everybody kind of turning over just a little bit, maybe trying to really lay into one. See if Joey can get to the green.
Just going with another big sidearm. Flex play.
Come on. It looks good, just needs to flex.
Oh, no.
Last available.
Oh.
That was such a good line. I would have liked to see where that ended up.
Was flexing at the perfect time.
Dave actually has a decent bit of a obstructed shot with that hill in the way. I didn't even think about that, and yeah, just unable to get the height right. That's a super tough shot. I mean, you basically need to skim the hill right in front of you.
Tough hole to finish your round. Will, not too far from where Dave was, but on the better side of that hill. Able to look straight at the basket. Executes a really nice upshot there.
Into a pretty solid tailwind, it looks like, too. It's getting breezy again. The wind seems to be very on and off.
Sam taking that nice lefty gap. Oh, Hey, was probably just a few feet from getting a better skip off that hard ground. Instead, hits a little bit of that grass.
Let's see if we can finish things with a bang. Yeah, layup. But taking a 4 on this hole is pretty good. At first, they actually called this hole a par 5, so this hole is definitely the longest hole in the course, and it's pretty tricky.
It plays long, and we took some well-executed shots for these guys to get all the way up here.
Yeah, and actually playing as a par 5 during the tournament, so we'll get in the birdie.
Nice birdie there for Sam as well.
There's definitely some eagle potential, but, I mean, there's only a couple of very good players in town who are able to pull those shots off.
3 birdies to finish us off here. Joey and Will are at 7 down, and let's see how that stacks up with the rest of the top 10.
Got Dylan Wooten coming in with the hot round, 8 down. He's going to have Joey and Will on his heels, though. And then Reese finishing out our lead card. Didn't get to get much of an outro off there, but...
Do you want us to redo the whole intro and say it's a par 5?
No. That's okay.